Welcome to the Xpress-pay Knowledge Center. My name is Melissa Rogozinski, and I am the Education and Training Expert at Systems East. I'm also the host of our video and podcast series. Today, we have Peter Rigotti with us. Peter is the Director of Operations and Security at Systems East. Today, Peter and I are going to discuss encryption and how it protects our credit card information. Hi, Peter. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you today?
Doing great. I'm so excited to have you with us. This is your first program with us. So let's dive right in. Before we really get started into the questions, Peter, will you tell our audience just a little bit about your background here at Systems East, please?
Sure. I've been with Systems East for 16 years. I started out in the support department, and as we added online payments, I grew with the product, starting with support, security, and now I'm in charge of all operations and sales.
Great. So then let's dive right in. What exactly are some of the basic ways that we protect consumers' electronic data?
We protect the data from the point of entry at the website through submission and transmission to the payment gateways in the financial world. We require consumers to create complex passwords, which have to be changed every 90 days, and also put our servers behind firewalls and monitor all traffic looking for suspicious or harmful activity.
So is that enough, Peter, to protect this kind of electronic data and sensitive information?
That's just scratching the surface of all of the different security protocols and procedures that we have to follow. The Pci Ssc, which stands for Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council, has put out over 400 standards that we, a level 1 service provider, must abide by. We also have to employ a qualified security assessor to come in and verify that we are doing all 400 plus standards.
So in general terms, Peter, what is encryption?
Encryption is through either direct programming or a third-party utility, taking simple data and converting it into data that cannot be read. So say you take a number like 1234, it would be converting it to data and symbols that have no correspondence back to 1234. If a hacker would come in, you would not even be able to interpret 1234. It would be gibberish.
You know, interestingly enough, as we were working on this article and a couple of other things that we have created for our audiences, I uncovered that one of the earliest forms of encryption was a pottery glaze recipe on a Mesopotamian cuneiform tablet, which really just blew my mind. And I was excited to get that out there because who knew that encryption has been around for so long?
That's really interesting. My wife uncovered a secret Neiman Marcus cookie recipe the other day, but I don't think it was because it was encrypted.
So you mentioned the Pci Ssc. Peter, who are they? And talk to us a little bit more about these 400 security standards that they've set.
The Pci Ssc is composed of members of the 5 major credit card brands, including MasterCard, Visa, Discover, American Express, and JCB, as well as other security and strategic partners. They get together and they decide the standards that should be followed by all parties that have anything to do with collecting, transmitting, submitting credit card holder data. They put those standards out every so often with a time frame of when companies must comply.
So it's not a matter of if a business is going to be hacked, but when a business is going to be hacked. What is hacking, Peter?
Well, so hacking is when a person or a computer system gains unauthorized access into another computer or series of systems. In the case of a data breach, an outside unauthorized personnel or system gains access into a server or computer that contains sensitive information and data.
So hacking is one thing, but actually being able to get to the information and use it is quite another. With encryption, and obviously these 400 security points by the PCI Ssc, that makes it pretty difficult to actually get to any sensitive information, doesn't it?
Well, for your average computer user or your amateur hacker, that is true. In researching this, the security aspects, a few years ago when there were a couple large retail stores in the news for large data breaches, I was talking with a security expert, and he said exactly that. It's not a matter of if you're going to get hacked or trying to prevent hacking so much as once a hacker has gained access into your system, what do they find? And this is where encryption digs a bit deeper than just the storage and submission. It goes into what we call data at rest. And that is to speak to when it goes into your database has backups and there's logs of every event. And there's all sorts of places on a server where a credit card number could be hiding out or available to a hacker. We employ systems to encrypt every instance of a credit card number or personal information on a server that has come into contact with that credit card hold data. And that is one of the standards deals with data at rest, where the data is no longer going out to a processor or to a system or to an end user. It's just sitting there in storage. Those are places where hackers are going for not one credit card or Peter Rigotti's personal information. They're going to get thousands of credit cards or millions of credit card holder data.
So is there anything else that you would like to offer to our audience about encryption and PCI Ssc and how these things are employed to protect consumer data as best as possible?
Just simply to say that the security standards are as flexible as what is happening out in the real world. So the standards will change as hackers find new ways to gain access to systems, to de-encrypt data that has been encrypted. There are so many entities that are out there, but there's also entities that are working hard at securing your data.
Great. Well, folks, that wraps up our time today. I want to thank Peter Rigotti for joining us and having a great discussion about encryption and how it's used to protect your credit card and electronic data. If you have any questions, feedback, or would like to be a guest on our show, then please contact us at either the phone number or the email that follows this video. We really thank you for joining us today, and we certainly look forward to seeing you next time on the Xpress-pay Knowledge Center. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you have an idea you think we should discuss, leave it in a comment below.